Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Rebirth Island, and there's currently a large tropical storm. Even the campsite that the cast and crew have been living at flooded this morning, and even the satellite got struck down by lightning, so this episode may come out a bit more later. And here we see an Archaeopteryx. He's panicking because most trees are getting struck down. This Pachyrhinosaurus is currently hiding beneath a bundle of trees. It's doing well to keep him from being wet, but not good at all to keep him away from startled and fussy predators. Even the Brachiosaurs, the same species that took on a whole entire gang of poachers and won by getting startled, their bodies dripping with rainwater. But in all honesty, all these animals are just scared. They've never experienced tropical storms this bad before, to the extent where multiple forests have burnt down with herds of prehistoric animals inside them. Let's show you one of them. This herd tried hiding in a forest, but a lightning strike hit a tree, and now they're surrounded by flames. And as if things couldn't be worse, Scar, the most bloodlusted animal on this island, has arrived, and his target they can't do anything either. He's a lot more larger than him. And he goes off to get a new kill. There's even a Brachiosaur that's now headless. Never mind. Turns out the camera's just that is now dead because of a lightning strike that struck its head. Even the Dilophosaurus pack has been separated. Here we see Camo, who's currently tripped but gets back up. He's trying to find Boss and his other brother Stripe. Stripe soon arrives and he informs Camo that Boss, he cannot find him anywhere in this forest. It's very worrying. He runs off to try find him, but then a huge lightning strike smashes into a tree nearby. They even set a camera up in the tree. Here's what it captured. We're back in the campsite here, and we've been back to until the storm's over, and it turns out a huge gust of wind just kind of destroyed it all. So now we're gonna have to hide in the forest. Can't hope just for help. No. The river and pond is starting to fill at an alarming rate. If it carries on filling during the storm, we may have an island catastrophe. After many hours of constant rain, the typhoon has finally left and has given birth to a huge water source that used to just be land. Things like Dimetrodon aren't bothered about this all of a sudden flood, for they can swim quite well too. This female is just crawling out of the new river and rests on a large boulder. But in the middle of the river, we see another Archaeopteryx. He isn't catching fish, he's too small for that. He's catching bugs that fly on the surface of the water. On a large uprooted tree, we see an unconscious juvenile Stegosaurus who only starts to wake up. Sure, it's shallow, but because of his weight and how fast this river is now, he is completely helpless. Perfect prey for an adapted killer for this. Spinosaurus aegypticus, a large male. He is on the hunt. Before this startled and scared Stegosaurus can react, he's pushed in and mauled. The Spinosaurus's jagged and sharp teeth ripping at the skin and flesh. But as Stripe drags his kill onto the bank, he's greeted by the female Daspletosaurus from the other episode. She just says that she means no harm and has just came to get a drink, but decides to play it safe and leaves. Meanwhile, in the more rapid areas, we see a small herd of different species of herbivore trying to cross the river to get to the island where their favourite foods are. But this is risky. Why? Because if you follow the tide, it sweeps into this calmer area where a fully grown Dimetrodon awaits. It's also even risky to even try get in the water, because as you can see immediately, this baby Parasaurolophus is stuck in the sand. He lets out multiple cries for help, but that attracts unwanted attention. A hungry female Allosaurus who also got a different prey item. He knows his life is in the Allosaurus's hands now. And the Allosaurus takes it away with ease before dragging the corpse away. But there is also mammals, like I said. Just like the rabbit, there is a pygmy hippopotamus. He's drinking and lounging in a more shallower area in between fast floods and other fast floods. But on that cliff arises a battle. A Rugops. This is a territorial fight between a Rugops and a Utaranus, both fully grown males, and they begin. Rugops bites down on Utaranus' neck and holds him down. Oh no! Nelly! Anyway, after that short intermission, the Rugops tries to get a good grip onto the Utaranus' snout. The Utaranus kicks him away. They clash. The Utaranus is held down by the Rugops. The Utaranus kicks him off the cliff. As that herd crosses a waterfall, here comes Stripe. But struggling behind the herd, which is very good for today, for somehow, is Uno. He struggled behind to grab some food and a drink. And he's also quite precautious about this rapid running waterfall, for he may be too light and he may fall down to his death or drown or even get eaten by some shark. The others go a lot ahead though, having to use some of the heavier ones as shields against the current. But after the bellowing roar of the Spinosaurus, the smaller ones run back to the shore, leaving only a fully grown Triceratops and a Stegosaurus against one larger Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus slowly circles them, but staying aware that these two are very dangerous. Stripe soon learns that if the Triceratops uses its tail, so can he. Because of this hit, the bull male nearly falls down, but luckily gets caught on a rock and he lifts himself up and shakes off, and he decides to push onwards, ignoring the advancing Spinosaurus, to get to the other side to safety. As the bull Triceratops manages to reach a fallen tree, behind him, a heroic deed is being done by the large Stegosaurus. He's making himself a dinosaur shield, not a human shield, to defend the small one. He charges. The Stegosaurus tries to angle himself so he could get a good tail jab, but the Spinosaurus moves him out the way and swims upstream. But the Stegosaurus, now badly injured in the legs, manages to somehow topple him, but the Spinosaurus is not having that, and he pushes him further up, planning to drown him in the deeper part. Soon, the Spinosaurus is dragging the Stegosaurus into the murky depths, but the Stegosaurus tries to use its tail to slash him and gets dragged under again, and then gets back up for air before being dragged down. But only a few hours later, we see the Stegosaurus unconscious, but washed up at least 2 kilometers away, or at least a mile. He washes up on the shores, but he has awoken in Dilophosaurus country. But when he awakens, the Dilophosaurus are all very panicky, including Camo being the youngest, and although it may look bad, he runs. Stripe starts to back off too, and also runs. But Boss runs too, but unlike the others, he lets out a threatening roar, and then runs. The Stegosaurus wanders aimlessly, trying to find the herd again. He is lost. But as it seems, all hope is lost. Turns out that's not the case at all. For on the other side of the river, the herd is visible. But unlike the Stegosaurus just across the way, the herd does not notice him, for they've stopped to graze. It's quite risky though, because all the plants, because of the sudden erosion, are down a cliff. We see a large Triceratops chomping down onto some sort of plant. It's about small tree size, but very delicate, as we can see, because he's ripping chunks off with ease. This is a type of plant that evolved on the island many, many years ago, almost millions of years. It's a type of plant where the leaves are poisonous, but the actual stem is jam-packed with nutrients, fibre, you name it. It's an amazing snack for herbivores. While Uno, our main character, feasts on some grass. But obviously large water sources attract fish-eating pterosaurs that also won't mither with a quick herbivoric snack. The male Quetzalcoatlus has locked on to the Pachycephalosaurus, and he swoops in. He doesn't see it, but the Quetzal misses. The Patchy runs while he can, and the Quetzal gets back up and screeches in anger before trying to take off, but realising his wing is broken and his beak is bleeding. But the bull male isn't happy that one member of his herd was nearly killed, and he slams his hooves repeatedly into the Quetzalcoatlus's head over and over again until it dies, or at least loses consciousness, where he shoves the horn into its jugular, finishing it off. Almost like clockwork, a young, hungry Carnotaurus eagerly approaches the dead meal. Now, unlike the movies, herbivores aren't just, oh wait, that's a carnivore, I'm going to kill it. If it doesn't pose a threat, they won't bother. The Carnotaurus digs in. But the thing is, this baby truly is a threat. Why? Because of who its father is. And on the island, parental dinosaurs never leave their child alone. Scar. He's back, and he is furious. 2 horned dinosaurs are about to fight. The bull does intimidation displays, but Scar is not intimidated in the slightest, and he lunges behind the neck of the Triceratops. But our heroic main character Uno saves the day. As the Carnotaurus is about to finish Bull off, he charges in, slamming his bulbous horn into Scar's ankle, making him fall and shriek in anger and pain. He quickly runs, sadly ditching his own son, and out of anger, this baby is now seen as a threat, and the bull launches him down the cliff. He falls. But again, like clockwork, the scent of death attracts a scavenger who swims up onto the ledge. This scavenger is Stripe, and you must be wondering, shouldn't Blueback also be in these waters? He is not, for obviously he's a Spinosaurus maximus, this is a Spinosaurus aegypticus. The baby is too distracted because of the pain to realise he's in grave danger. He braves it and jumps over, but nearly falls, but luckily saves himself. He lays down, but this will be his final action. Shrieks of pain fill the air, and only a few hours later, a baby is found floating dead down the river. But the smell of blood and a fresh carcass attracts a sorrowing and angered father, who keels up and roars a vow to take revenge on Stripe.